Every good story has a structure. There's the backstory, which sets the stage. There's Act 1, where we are introduced to the current situation. Act 2, where things start to go wrong. And Act 3, where we move ahead to the future. The same is true with FABEC's story, and this video will briefly outline our story, our challenges, and where we are going next. In the 1990s, air traffic experienced a sharp increase, which strained the resources of air traffic control. As a consequence, air traffic was a mess and passengers were stuck waiting. To combat this, in 2004, the Single European Sky was created, and in 2006, the idea of functional airspace blocks were developed. These FABs are airspaces by neighbouring countries where traffic is organised according to operational needs and not according to national borders. By 2012, 9 FABs were created by the states and their national ANSPs. FABEC is one of them. FABs are a great idea, especially for the EC. It allows for cooperation between neighbours who are focused on solving a problem together instead of arguing over borders. FABEC manages one of the most complex airspaces in the world. 55% of European air traffic takes place in its airspace. In 2010, FABEC made a feasibility study. Many passionate people put their heads together and came up with intentions and plans. The feeling was one of optimism. They started working on resolving certain problems between big airports, city pairs, and they succeeded. They started working on a network of air routes which airlines could use during the night network, and they launched many initiatives. They started to work on reshuffling major airspaces, the hot spots that have been a problem for decades. We can succeed at that too, FABEC said. But could they? This is when reality hit. What seemed easy in theory is quite difficult in reality. There was competition instead of cooperation. There were questions concerning traffic shifts, which changed the flow of income from one country to another. There are many military training areas, and National Air Force are partially reluctant to give up airspaces for public air travel. Unlike the initial successes, the big airspace redesign projects CBA Land, Central West and South East failed. Why did they fail? For political reasons mostly. National politics, regional politics, local politics, even ANSP or union politics, you name it. This feeling of having failed wasn't just about the countries, it was a sense of personal failure. They thought, what good is it to work together if you can't even fix your airspace problems? Did we solve all problems? No, absolutely not, so let's scrap it and go home. Well, no, not so fast. Ops people are pragmatists. There is a new dimension in the work. We know each other. We are used to working together. FABEC has become a network. We know that even if they can't solve all problems, we can still solve some. Slowly but surely, and with a clear desire to work with their new FABEC colleagues, they restarted work. Act 3, a new reality since 2015. As with every good story, conflict sparks new efforts to succeed at the original goal. Here are just some of the things that we've succeeded at since 2015. The situation and the philosophy are changing. We now believe that every measure contributes to the overall improvement of the performance, and here are some of the things we are working on now. The story is not over. Let's talk about the next act.